Here we go. Dave here, how are you? Today is the 9th of February, 2020. I hope you had a good week. My week has been kind of so-so. I've not been very well at the beginning of it, and as a matter of fact, I recorded this show once already and I deleted it because it was rubbish. It was amateur time. Anyway, one of the things that's happening now is we are getting so much rain. You know that we've had bushfires. It's gone crazy. In the Blue Mountains, it is bucketing. We're probably going to get 20 to 24 inches over a period of around a week. All my tanks are full, the dam is full, the fountain is full. It's fantastic. And it won't be long before everyone is complaining about the rain. It's just, we're fickle, aren't we? This is just one of those funny things. Now, on the show today, let me see what we've got. I'll put the specs on so I can read the run sheet. My dust extractor update, and it is very interesting. I'll run a very short video on it. One of the first things I'll do, so stick with me, we'll just read through what's going to happen. The Festool Domino, this joint. Now, a lot of people know how to do that kind of a joint with a Festool. Easy, but they really start to fall over if you ask them to do a joint like that. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. So if you've always been wondering, how the hell do you do that? It's not hard. We'll do that live on the show. We'll talk about a couple of things with the Domino as well. I've got the 700, which is the XL, and I have the Seneca RTS 500, which is the adapter. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of things about that adapter as well that may make you think, well, I'll get it, or maybe I won't get it. You know, it's a couple of things. What else have we got? Plastic shopping bags and other soft plastic. I made comment during the week on social media about these kind of bags. These bags have replaced the single-use plastic bags that get thrown out. We're a problem with landfill. You know, it took 1 million years and 2 days to actually decompose. I don't even know if they decompose. Anyway, I was concerned that these things were going to do the same thing because this one had torn. And I thought, well, what's going to happen to this? Found some very interesting things out about it. We'll talk about that as well. Change the disc sander update. So changing this paper, last time I did this, I used an ordinary piece of paper. I'm going to show you another way that's actually a little bit better and easier, and it's not going to cost you anything. So stick around for that. New microphones, thanks to my patrons. So this microphone here is fantastic. It is a pet one of two. So when I have a guest, I can get this and wire my guest as well. And we will both come through sounding very professional, knowing what we're doing. Instead of having, you know, a microphone stuck on the end of the stick and trying to do this kind of thing between me and my guest, I'll mic them up, I'll be mic'd, and wherever we're walking around in the shop, people will be able to hear me, not a problem at all. Shop, I guess that's an American word, isn't it? In Australia, we always refer to this as our shed, but because I'm trying to appeal to international viewers, I'll call it a shop. Sometimes I'll call it the garage, sometimes I'll call it the shed. My workshop is probably the easiest thing to say. What else? A drill press conversion that one of my subscribers has done, and I'll put that up at the moment. This is my drill press that I'm very interested in doing this conversion to. This is my little Bosch, and as I've said to people, I'm kind of happy with it, but not happy with it. I just find that it moves around a little bit when I've got large drill hole saws and large Forstner bits in it. Other people have said theirs is fine, so maybe it's kind of a hit and miss on the quality control. It's a shame that I got the one that wobbles around a little bit. Anyway, this gentleman, now I need you to tell me, I need you to send me in. If you're the guy that sent these in to me, please send me a name and a little story about why you did it. because I reckon this is brilliant. Here's a picture of what he's done to his. Now, I've got a whole lot more pictures, and he's got other things that he's done to it, but I need you to send in the story. The reason I've lost your story that you sent in to me, with all this stuff that's been happening with the fires, my dog dying, there are so many things that have been happening during 2019. I'd rather kind of forget that year, put it aside, and move forwards with 2020. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you my dust extractor update. Now, you'll remember that I've not long done a video for Carbotech for them, for their website, not for me, not for my website, for them, for their inline separator. And at the end of it, I tested it on a couple of things, and I was pretty impressed with it. The reason I like this one is because it's got a cradle, it's got a big frame, holds itself up, there's no mucking around with it, you can pull the bin out from underneath it, you haven't got to put the lid on the side or anything like that. It's just easy. And after using it on the CNC machine, it is so efficient. I couldn't believe it. I was expecting to get a whole heap of stuff blowing out all over the place, because I always put my machines outside, and I'll take you through it now, but it is brilliant. And I put a 2-horse Dusty on top of it, like I've done in this inside here. Let me see if I can find it, and we will go with that straight away. Here we go. So this is my new setup. The 2-horse dust extractor mounted to a sheet of substantially thick plywood directly over top of the inline separator. I could possibly do a better join right there, but for the moment it's working. And that's working down there. I had to cut this out. I made a mistake in my measurements when I mounted it onto the pallet racking. Now this is 18mm thick ply, doubled up where the extractor is mounted. So it's 36mm thick right there. That's working well. I'm going to do a different inlet from here. At the moment I've got it on the 4-inch port. This is the old system that I had that runs up to there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 6-inch to 4-inch reducer, and I'm going to run 6-inch flex pipe all the way down. I'm going to take this adapter off and have 6-inch go straight onto it and up. I know that you're supposed to have a straight run straight into the separator, but I can't afford to do that. I'll tell you what, the suction at the moment is so much better with this system than I was getting with the little 1-horse machine. Now it's vented straight to the outside. I will run a pipe, possibly a 6-inch pipe, so I'll go 5-inch up to 6, so there's no real back pressure on it. I'll move the compressor out of the way, and you can see it's blowing all the way over there. I'm going to take it to the outside of the building onto the vacant block outside. There's hardly anything gets away from this. Now during that video, and also now, you may have also heard the rain. It is bucketing down here at the moment, and it's a tin roof, and there's a downpipe over here that runs down inside the building, and it's crazy. It's very noisy as a background. Now, on top of what I've just shown you there on that dust extraction setup, I thought I'd just give you a quick view about the last pair of benches that I made on the CNC, how little dust was left. Now with MDF, I don't get much dust left at all, but with plywood, it's a different kind of a shaving that comes off the spiral upcuts, and it's bulkier. You'll be surprised how little there is. Now I'm going to switch over to the second camera, and I'm going to turn the dust extractor on, and I'm going to run the CNC backwards and forwards to act as the vacuum. Because what I used to do was, I'll switch it over now, was I used to get just a standard vacuum and vacuum all of this up after I'd finished the job. So I've cut a full sheet of plywood there, and you'll see that there's not much left. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my Dusty, and I'm going to show you how that happens using this. Well, I'm going to show you the switch to get for it. So it's turned on. I'm going to bring my CNC machine across a little bit, the head, and we're going to use it as a vacuum cleaner. Look at that. This, I don't know if, I'm probably not the first person to do this kind of thing. I'm sure I'm not. But it works great. Look at that. And it's a lot quicker than mucking around going and getting the vacuum. One more pass, there's a lot of heavy stuff there to go. Here we go. And off. All right, I'm going to come back into the other room. Oh dear. Where would we be without our toys? Switching the cameras over now. Where would we be without our toys? I read a post on Instagram this morning from someone who had said, was talking about smoking and giving up. And I gave up cigarettes probably around 30, 32 years ago. And I made the comment, I've redirected all of that money, which would have been thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You work it out how much cigarettes, I was a packet a day. You work out how much that is per year. I think it's like, I gave it up when it was $5 a packet. They're probably $15 a packet now, or even more. I've no idea. That's something I need to check on. You work it out, $15 a day over a year, multiply that by 32, and it's a small fortune. All reinvested in toys. Not all of it, you know, foods, things like that, petrol. There's always something to spend money on. But the point is, I feel so much better. I can run. My moustache isn't yellow. I was watching a show last night, the Pie in the Sky, I think it was, and the guy's moustache was all yellow underneath. I was thinking, oh, it's nicotine, it's smoker. Anyway, enough of that. So there we go, the dust extractor update I've done. Let's do another quick one on this guy here, and I'll show you. I'll bring the other camera in and swing this around this side and tipping it down like that. That should do it. Want to swing the cameras. How's your week been anyway? Put some comments in the side there. And there we go. All right, now what I've done is I've cut a half disc. Make sure I've got the right camera, yep. I've cut a half disc out of a cereal packet. This is thin cardboard. I had tried using, I put a couple of fans up in the workshop to try and keep the place cool, and I was going to use that, but it was too thick. Whatever cardboard you use, it must be able to fit between your sandpaper and the table. And if you can do that, away you go. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is, and I hope it works this time. I'll take it off the roll around wheels so it doesn't go crazy on me. There we go. Now we don't have to do anything much to it. It's just when you slide it in, it's got to be like so. All right, see that? Rolling, rolling, rolling until this part just goes under. Peel this one. There we go. Done. How easy peasy was that? And it goes back on, but you know, you don't want to see me do that. I might actually change that piece. I'm going to put a different grade on there for some work I'm going to do this afternoon. All right, back to the main camera again. These little things, I obsess about things until I get it right. All right, how are we doing for time? Quarter of an hour. Cool. All right, I'm going to cross things off this time because sometimes while I'm doing it, I'll forget. I'll think I've remembered it and done it, but I haven't. Dust extractor update. The change the disc sander update. And the drill press conversion we've done. All right, the next thing I want to do is talk about those plastic shopping bags, and then we'll move on to the Domino. That'll be very, very interesting. Okay, plastic shopping bags. What have we got? I found out through James Finger, who was a guest on the show, who's the chemist, about the dust masks. And he said, Dave, these plastic bags are now soft plastic. It means you can do this to it. Can't be hard plastic, it's soft plastic. I think it's a polymer of some sort that they extract out of it. And, well, I think the whole thing is polymer, and they change it into other forms. And they make garden furniture. Now, listen to that rain. It's something that I kind of knew in the back of my head, because I have actually bought some bollards for my driveway to stop people doing a shortcut around an internal. Like if they're going around a corner and the grass is on the left-hand side, a lot of people will just cut across and just drive, inside wheels will go over the grass, and they don't care. Lunatics. There was an interview with one of the guys out of Pink Floyd, and the Lunatics are on the grass. You probably heard that song. I don't know what the name is. Anyway, Lunatics, I think it's called. Anyway, when he was interviewed, he said when he went to university, one of either the dean or one of the academics, I should say, was saying, look at all of these people walking on the grass. Lunatics. Well, I'm a little bit that way with my lawn. It took a long time to grow it. And when people start cutting across it, I like it to look nice. It's kind of an artwork for me. Anyway, so these things. Torn. Here I was thinking it's going to have to go in the bin, landfill. Other things as well. Bread packets. Frozen food packets that were in the freezer. I've got a heap of them in here. They were just everywhere. And as a matter of fact, I've got so many in there because I thought I'll make a demonstration about it. Bottom of the freezer, I'm sure you're the same. Bottom of the freezer, all of these packets that are nearly empty, and you're thinking, it's going to be full of ice. I'll just grab a new one and open that, and veggies. So I had this meal the other night that was all my bottom of the freezer packets. Tipped it all into a bowl, threw it in the microwave, and I survived. Okay, so I'm going to show you a image here. Now, these are all the things that can happen. Now, whilst that's up there, I'm going to read this thing from Woolworths. All Woolworths stores across Australia, so I'm guessing it's also Coles, Woolworths and Coles, this is pertinent to people in Australia, have a soft plastics recycling bin for you to bring in soft plastics that can't be recycled at home. This helps to keep plastic bags and packaging out of landfill. Soft plastics returned to store are recycled by our partners RedCycle and Replas into benches, bollards and other items that can be used in our stores and car parks. We collect reusable green bags when they get old and worn, single-use plastic bags, bread bags, biscuit wrap and frozen food bags. These items cannot be recycled in the yellow bin at home, so please bring them into our stores so they can be recycled into reusable furniture and equipment. I'll get this other camera happening here. So after learning all of that, they say in their stores, well, you know that you can also buy them directly yourself. So I went to Replas unwittingly around about 15 years ago and bought a couple of their bollards, as I said, to keep the lunatics off my grass. Now, an interesting thing with the bollards that I bought, they're a maritime style bollard, and I'm going to show you a little video in a second of what they look like. But also they've got a stainless steel tang in the bollard, which enables it to be concreted into the ground. That's how they mount them. I took it one step more, and I've got some gal iron pipe, which that tang fitted into perfectly. It mated to it perfectly. So I concreted the piece of pipe into the ground. So now I can remove the bollard every time I mow the lawn. Now in this video, I'll just show you with the little lawnmower. Normally, because it's a couple of acres, I jump on the ride-on and do it all in one go. So I just pull all the bollards out instead of having to go around and whippersnip around them. I'll see if I can find it. And there it is. Have a look at this. Now, how nice do they look? That is plastic. That's a few of these converted into something that's been there for 15 years or longer. It's brilliant. I poured that piece of concrete, that concrete that's around the edge there where the bollard is beside, I poured that the night before, or sorry, the day after 9/11 happened. So that gives you an indication of how long that's been there. And I put the bollard in about a year after. So pretty amazing. I encourage you to do it, and you can get decking, all sorts of stuff that these companies make. I'm not getting any kickback or anything from any of those. I'm just community awareness. Let's call it that. Save from being ignorant. All right. We're doing well. 21 minutes into the show, and I'm having fun. I'm hoping you're having fun. I'm hoping you're still here with us. You may have got to the stage where you're going, come on, Dave, I want to see the thing about the domino. We'll do that next. Move a couple of things. And then we'll have a look at also who won the IMUFs competition, and also a picture from a person who'd won the IMUFs previously. This is good. I'm so glad I redid the show. Yesterday when I did the show, the recording, it was kind of, I wasn't myself. I thought, no, it's no good, get rid of it. Okay, move that down there and get the domino out. Move a couple of things off the side here. All right, this is the Domino 700 or XL, whatever you want to call it. It is a machine that is designed for creating mortises for a slip tenon. Now, the tenons that they create are made out of Cypher, mahogany basically, or European beech. Now, they are horribly strong. They are the same size as basically a domino, but now, got much bigger and smaller. And it is so easy to create a joint using this machine. It's a non-rotating dowel. That's another way of thinking about it. Now, let's have a look at it. In there at the moment, I have a Seneca adapter and also a 5mm cutter from the Domino 500. There's two models of this. There's the little guy and the big guy. I don't have the little one. If I had my time again, I would probably have got the small one. But when I got this, I was still getting out of the building game, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to do some projects where I need those larger tenons, and it never happened. So I probably should have got the small one. And if I needed it for the big fellow, I could have gone and borrowed one or hired one for the big stuff. But these are heavy. Give you an idea. All right, now I'm going to take the front off, and it's a very easy, simple matter of down here. I don't know if you can see that one there. I'll tip it sideways. There's a little green point there. Anything green on Festool is normally a functioning thing. Festool didn't give this to me. I bought this. Okay, just letting people know. All right, so pop that, and that comes like so and slides off. How easy is that? This is great design. Put that down there. Now, on here is the RFS 100. I'm pretty sure it's the RFS. Maybe it's the Rural Fire Service that I'm thinking, but I'm pretty sure it's the Seneca adapter. Now, I use the big spanner and a 10mm to be able to get that off there. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take the small one off first. Maybe I should get the other camera around this side and see if you can see it any better. I'm going to have a look at that image first before I do the switch. And over here, yeah, that might work better. It might indeed. We'll go over to the other camera. There we go. So here we are. There's the RF, the converter, and this is a 5mm cutter. It's not a drill. It is a router cutter designed for the Domino. Going to crack it if I can, which I have, and undo over the white section there so you can see it, of the Stanton bench. Ta-da! Okay, so this one here is a 5mm Domino. Now I'm going to get from in here my selection. Now this is something that you might be interested in seeing. This is, so it says 5 in there. This one here is my 8mm. See that? Now why am I showing you that? Look how short it is. Now this is one of the things against getting the Seneca. I'm going to take the Seneca off. There's just here, this green thing, this is the lock. This locks the armature so it can't turn. And undo. So that guy there, it's probably got it written on it what it is. There we go. That's it. All it is, threaded section of steel, and I don't know if I can read that. I can't. All right, I'm going to put this in the box I've got up here. Now, I'm going to get a dedicated 8mm for the 500. Sorry, for the 700. So there you go. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'll get a piece of paper and turn it around so you can see it. There they are side by side. Now the reach is going to be terrible. Switch cameras again. Go back to the main one. Might be easier to see it. So there they are, side by side. So the 8 that's dedicated for the 700 is a whole lot longer, so you'll be able to get better penetration when you're creating the mortise. This thing will do it, but it's only designed to go in enough, which will be 25mm, maybe 28mm in total depth, because the biggest domino that the 500 was designed to do is a 50. So it's 25 penetration, both sides of the joint. So it's just a little interesting thing. I thought you might be a heads up. But these are, whoop, wrong camera. These are great. Very, very nice. All right, pop that in there. So I'm going to use this in the 700 XL. Slide him on. And just a little touch, doesn't need to be too much. And then I'm going to put the head back on. And this way, I guess, is probably going to be the easiest way for me to show you. The good thing about this, it's got two offset, one large, one small. It's like when you're putting the tailgate on a trailer. I always try and make sure that if I've got a tailgate or a trailer with a tailgate on it, when I used to have the trailers, I had one pin was slightly longer, so I could hook that one on first and then try and line up the second one and go for it, slide the tailgate on before I closed it. Because trying to line the pair of them up at once, it drives you crazy. You can't quite do it. So this is a great idea. So I'll slide that into there, let that engage first. So it's still rocking around. And then you slide it on and you just push, locked. German ingenuity, love it. All right, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on what's called the trim stop. Now, why do they call it a trim stop? Well, for doing pieces of timber this size, this is referred to as trim. Or if I'm doing trim work inside a house, or trim around a door, you know, it's called trim. I don't have to explain it. Okay. Now, I'm going to get the calipers and measure how wide this is. You can use a tape measure, but I have the tape calipers here, so why not? I'm going to measure the width of this stuff. It is 41.9, close enough to 42 millimeters for me. There you go. It's just bumped a little bit. I'm going to work on 42. Now, why am I measuring it? Well, these things are designed to move backwards and forwards, and there's some dimensions on one side or the other. I'm sure there's dimensions on. Oh, that's right. There's dimensions on the front of the plate here. Here, there's dimensions there. I don't know if you can see it. Just in the glint of the light there. Might switch the cameras back because this might work a little bit better on the second camera. So we have dimensions along this perspex or acrylic or whatever plate you want to call it. So next thing we do is we fit this to the faceplate or to the table. I think they call it a table. It's very easy. If I turn it around this way, it might be easier to watch. What we're going to do is we're going to slide it. I'll tip it forwards a little bit so you can see. That might work easier. We're going to slide it on like that. On the side, there's these little clamps that swing around. Move that over there. Bring it over a little bit closer. And that pulls back, pushes in, and goes over there. And the same on the other side. Pull it back, swing it around, push it in over that till it gets to that second point there. Tighten that up. And now I'm going to tip it back up, like so. And this is designed, as I say, I can move these backwards and forwards. These are like little stops. Now, because these are all indexed along here, I might switch the cameras again so you can see it a little bit easier. Like so. I can now move this until it's at 21 millimeters. Of course, half of 42 is 21. Well, it was when I went to school. So I'm going to look it up myself so I can see what's going on. I need good light. And this is important because if I turn the machine left to right on a joint, do one way, do it the other way, I still want it to be centered. These aren't the best specs for this. 21. I think that's it. We're going to pop it in there and check. There you go. That's pretty good. I'm going to loosen this one off, just pushing in just a touch. There we go. Very good. Now, that is centered there. And if I rotate to any point, like that's at 45 degrees, it is still centered. I love it. I'm going to release that so it can come down a little bit lower. Okay, well that's enough talking about it. How about we actually create this joint? What have I got here? The plug-it cable. I'll pop in there. The great thing about these things is they can have a test and tag on this one cable. And then you can use it on all your different machines if you're on site. Pretty clever. Plug this into the Dusty. All right, you're enjoying the show so far, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And if you really want to go crazy, you can become a patron. And if you're of a certain level patron, I will send you one of these out. Great for having soup, coffee, tea, you know, it's not fussy. This is a very, very multifunctional mug. You can have any beverage in this, not like others. I'm an idiot. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mortise in the flat section here. I'm going to hold it onto my bench. I'm going to do that by using some of John's yellow box shed dogs and his cam clamp. I've just put a little timber packer in there. It ain't going anywhere. And I'll randomly put a domino in there. I'm going to set the depth to 25 millimeters, and the depth is set on the side here. So I've set that to 25, which means the machine is going to only plunge. You watch the domino, the cutter come out. Can you see it? Yeah, I'm just trying to get it so you can see it against my shirt. It's very hard when I'm balancing it around all over the place. See that? So we're going to get a 25 millimeter plunge, and dust extraction is very, very important when using the domino, because we want to get rid of that swarth, or swath, whatever you want to call it, the waste out of the mortise, so there's no risk of burning or snapping anything. Also with these, you need to have the 27 millimeter hose or the adapter from 36 to 27, because that's what's going to fit on the connection on the machine. Very, very little dust comes off this, and I guess I should be good and wear eye muffs. Turn that off. Where are we? I say that while I'm walking around the place in my thongs. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to create a plunge, which means I need to come back at 90 degrees. So my table, my work table, is now like that. And something to make life a little bit easier, even more, is Festool make this plate that can go onto there to steady the machine when I hold it up vertical. But also TSO products make one as well called the Bigfoot. And this thing is lovely. Now TSO products did give this to me because I asked them. I said, I think it's wonderful, and they know that I'm a Festool nut. So they sent that over to me. I'm going to put this on. I just find it gives a whole lot more support than the standard one that comes with the machine. Now when I hold this upright on there, I'll get the other camera so you can see how good it is from the side. Second camera, where are you? Coming a bit closer and up. There. Transition. All right, so here's the Bigfoot. You can see the whole unit now is extremely stable. I can drop that down. Also at the back here, there's a cursor that I can line up if I had a center line down the middle of this piece of timber. All right, I've got it set to the right size, the right connection there. I think everything's good to go. Let's give it a shot. There's the domino, the mortise, dead center. Now with the machine, I'll switch cameras again, back to here. With the machine, what it does, any time you want to do a joint, the machine will only do a joint perpendicular to the face. So it'll do a joint perpendicular to, or a mortise perpendicular to that, or perpendicular to a 45, or a 32, or a 15, or a 6, whatever angle you set it up to. I don't think it can go acute. So I think it goes up to, it'll do a 90-degree rotation. It can't go past that, obviously. All right, now we're going to do one in this. So we're going to make a joint like that. Dead easy. Now you're probably looking at it going, of course, of course. So I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm going to swing that camera around as well. We'll finish putting this little guy in. I love it. This is such a good bench. Buy the plans. Oh, I've sold out on Etsy, but I'm going to fix that. I'll fix it for you. It'll be done today. I'm amazed at how many people are jumping in and grabbing the plans. They're also available on TSO's website and through stantonbench.com or stantonbench.com.au. You can get the plans there. If you go onto the site, I think at the moment there's a little glitch with the front page when you go to get the plans. It's a dead picture. I've been playing around with the website and I stuffed it up. So I'm waiting for Julia to fix that photo up for me, and that'd be fantastic. All right, now we're going to switch cameras again so you can see what's going to happen. We're going to put a mortise in there, and it's going to be so quick and so easy. How we're going to do it is that's a 45-degree angle there. It's actually 135, but we're going to set this to 45, and it will sit using the trim stop again, so it's not rocking around anywhere. See that? The trim stop is locating it here, and then I've got the table is lined up to match onto that. The base, the table is there, the big foot is coming along and actually resting on there as well. Now, I'd like to show you that. I will, as a matter of fact. I'm going to lower this camera down, and people hate me doing it whilst the camera is active, so this rain's amazing. Again, I hope you're enjoying the show, and if I can give you some tips that you may not have been aware of, all the better. That's better. That's better. There we go. All right. Except for I may not be able to get the machine in there now. You see that as I'm coming up towards it? The big foot has got its center cursor down here on that part of that 45. Now I think I'm going to be right. I don't think I'm going to go all the way through. It's always a good idea to do a test cut on things like this prior to actually, doing it on the job. So I'm going to turn it on now. There we go. And we want a 50mm by 8mm domino. These things, as I said, European beech. Goes into there, like so. And then this, I'll put onto there. Where are we? So I can see it. There's my joint. I haven't glued it or clamped it or anything yet, but that will go together just lovely. I'll go to the other camera so you can see it as well. I've gone to 44 minutes. We're going well. There you go. How easy was that? Now, you might say, Dave, well, how do we make sure that it's at the right position? Well, it's easy enough to do. What you do is you put the tenon into this part first with the 45 on it. And so you do a little bit of mucking around, and then you can line up where the domino will actually be coming down onto the other piece. And put a little line there and then square a line across, and that will be your center line for when you're doing your vertical plunge. It's not hard. All right, I think we're doing well. I think we're doing well. Let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to get my piece of paper to check that we're knocking things off as we're going along. Move that out. I love this. I love this bench. All right, so the Festool Domino, easy with the trim stop, which we've done. Any other questions about Festool gear or relating to woodwork? I'm not really up on their grinders and things like that because I don't, and their and the other one that they sell, oh, I forget what it, Thane. I'm not really up on that stuff, but the Festool woodworking gear, I'm pretty much got my head around all of that. Leave comments in the Premiere chat. Also, after the show, do you realize that you can reactivate that chat and have a look at the chat while it was going along? I found that I could do that on my phone and I think also on my desktop computer and a tablet. Can't do it on a TV. So if you want to watch the show later on after it's premiered and see what's being said, there you go. Just there's a little thing down the bottom. It says chat. Click the chat button and it'll pop up. Or if you want to, you can put comments down below. I encourage people to put comments down below because for a couple of reasons. One reason is I can see that straight away and I can address that for you further down the track. I normally try and respond to a comment within a day. There is a filter there as well. So if you put a hyperlink to something or if you swear, it's held for review. So most of the things will go straight through to that section. But if I'm trying to make this a community show so that kids can watch it if they want to. This is not designed for children, but I know there's a lot of young guys out there like to see what Dad's up to as far as working in the shed, garage, workshop, shop, wood shop, whatever you want to call it. So I try and keep it moderated as much as I can. Okay. Where were we up to? Microphones, I've covered that. And Domino, yeah, if there was any other things you wanted to know about that, I can do that. Done that. Done the dust extractor, the new inline separator, which after I've used it on the CNC, because that thing chops out a whole lot of muck. It's brilliant. That compressor that's beside the outlet, after I ran a full sheet of ply over the machine, or ran the machine over a full sheet of ply, there's hardly any dust on the compressor. I was looking all over the place and I was very, very surprised. With the Replast bollards and exterior products, I've done that. What's happening in your shed? I did ask for the person that sent me that picture in about their drill press. I need to know your name in the story. As I said, I've lost it. I've spoken about those soup mugs. And one of the other things. On social media also this morning, I put up a post about replacing this switch. Now this was on my 2 horsepower dust extractor. This is called an NVA, so it's a no volt release, no volt activated, I think is what it stands for. Now there's an electromagnet underneath here. And this switch is wired in such a way that when you turn the power off at the power supply at a power point, this automatically, if it was on at all, if someone had left it running and turned it off at the power point, it turns itself off and you can't turn it back on again by turning the power point on. You have to actually lift this up and push the green button. Now it's a safety switch designed for machines that you may have an accident with, like a table saw or a jointer. If someone's turned the power off to a table saw and then someone might be working on the table saw and someone comes in and says, oh, I know what was wrong with it, turn the power point on, and all of a sudden the blade starts. Well, these things are on those to save from those accidents. Now the thing is, with these, it's very awkward to use a remote control switch. Now, there are a lot of dust extractors that do have remote control switches on them already. I've never seen a table saw with a remote control switch, and I hope I never do. Now, I had mine converted. Very, very easy. I bought the switch and the cover plate, and I had a Sparky come down and fix it for me, change it. This is in Australia and New Zealand. You're not allowed to do these things yourself. at your own peril. Even then, don't do it. So I'm going to show you a picture. People have been asking me. Like I put up a post first and it looked like I'd done it. No, that's not what I meant to say. I put up a post showing how it can be done. And after it, and let people know, you must have someone do it. So here's the dust extractor switch there that I replaced with the one on the left. My right hand's pointing to the one that was replaced, and the one on the left is the one that I had put in instead. And this is what the machine looks like now. And people wanted to know where to get it and what to get. Hit the pause button or come back and watch it again, or write these things down right now. These are the codes for the plate that holds the little switch, and also the code for the switch itself. Now that is what's called a 2-pole 10 amp switch. Simply put, it means that it switches on and off the neutral and the active, not just one. All right, and they came from Carvatech, obviously, because you know that I spend 1 day a week working down there part-time, because I enjoy talking to other people about woodworking stuff. I also need to put food on the table, and I just love hanging out with all the toys. So that's where I got it from. Again, get a Sparky to throw it in for you. It's not going to cost you a lot, and away you go. Then you can put a remote on it. It's the cheapest remote that I know of. I think the remotes cost me $50 for a set of 3 from Bunnings in Australia. All right, so we've gone through that. Drill press, There's got to be more. Yes, there is. Winner, of course, and we're doing well on time. About 8 minutes to go on the show, and this is, I hope you're enjoying it. Here we go. So the winner. Where is he? Here he is. I'm going to do a quick read when I put the photo up there. This is from Ron Thornton in New Zealand. Dave, my apologies for the delay in getting this photograph to you. Absolutely love these eye muffs and wear them all the time when I'm working downstairs in my workshop. I even wore them this morning while mowing my lawns. A truly great invention. Thanks for giving me the chance to win this wonderful prize. And would you also thank George? Take care, Ron. I'm going to come back over to here. So how nice is that? Now, who won? Who won the eye muffs? Well, I think someone won it. Well, I know who won it, but I think he lives in Canada, and I think during the week he made comment to me that I can't buy these things in Canada. They won't even send them to me from the States. So maybe that's something that someone in Canada who's got a bit of nous might be able to get in touch with Reptiler, George from Reptiler, and see if they can set something up. I've no idea. Anyway, the winner of the eye muffs this week was Ian Eason. I think that's how you spell your name, or sorry, pronounce your name, E-S-S-O-N. Eason. Eason? Might be Essen. There we go. So we had Ron, we talked about the Woolworths plastic bag revival, the bollards, the way that I set my bollards up to keep the lunatics off my lawn. I've shown you how to do that simple joint. There's no glue in there. People wonder why I like Festool. There you go. There's the proof. That's why. And TSO products as well. They tend to get a hold of stuff that Festool make and enhance it and make it better. So drop in and have a look at their website, tso.com, I think it is. Pretty simple website. Lovely guys. And again, John, thank you so much for these things. I use these all the time on this bench, on the CNC, on the spoil board. I've drilled a fair few holes out on the CNC that are in the same 96mm regular pattern. Very, very accurate. Thank you also to my patrons for supporting me and enabling me to buy this kind of stuff to give you a better show. I think that's going to be it, guys. So look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I think that's a lot. I'm reading down the side here. All done. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. and the thumbs up.